Hey, what's up YouTube friends? I am Minzu Choi, so glad to be with you. I'm a filmmaker and a sneaker hobbyist. A couple of things before you dive into the main part of this video. First of all, I might be sounding funny to you if you've been following me for any amount of time. It's because I just got Invisalign. It's super weird. It's making me like slur my words, but I just wanted to let you know of that. Maybe in another video I'll kind of explain Invisalign, but just wanted you to know that. Secondly, I got a new desk. It was from IKEA. It's this giant, thick cutting board table. It's a kitchen island, actually, not an actual office desk. Perfect size, hefty, doesn't shake when I push against it, so that it doesn't make these weird camera shakes. But today I want to talk about filmmaking, and I want to talk about the center of every filmmaker's kit, the camera body. Now, some of you guys know that I'm a professional video producer. I get to make videos for a living, which is really, really cool. But at the beginning of the year, I wanted to have like a creative avenue. I wanted an outlet for some of the things that I wanted to do with sneakers. So at the beginning of January in 2021, I started this channel and kind of made sneaker content exclusively. One of the sneakers that I picked up this year is probably my favorite sneaker of the year, which is the Alma Manier Jordan 3 collaboration. It's just one of the best sneakers I've ever seen. It's just so beautiful. A sneaker like this reminds me of kind of the goal that I set at the beginning. You know, when you think about a shoe like this, they're taking the iconic Jordan 3 and then elevating it with just luxurious materials and just high quality, design. And so one of the questions that I had at the beginning of starting this channel was, what am I going to contribute to the YouTube sneaker community? And I was thinking about that a lot. And ultimately, I wanted to marry, the two things that I really love talking about, filmmaking and sneakers. And the question that I put in front of me was this idea of how can I elevate sneaker content through cinematography and really compelling filmmaking? And then how do I add like kind of my own perspective or my own voice into it? Today, I want to talk about kind of the centerpiece of all of what I'm trying to do. And I want to share with you maybe like 5 or 6 reasons why I really love working with this particular tool. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about just the overall body and size and weight of this. When you really understand, the history of cinema cameras, and you pick this up, you can't help but be amazed. What Canon has done with a cinema grade camera by putting it into this form factor is just beyond insane. When you think about cinema grade cameras, when you think about ARRIs or RED cameras or older, Canon or Sony cameras, they're large. And it's optimal when you're utilizing cinema cameras to have a whole team. But tech is moving forward, and now companies are making cinema grade cameras that can be just in this compact form that allows solo operators and independent filmmakers to reach the level of quality that traditional cinema cameras have reached for a very long time. The next thing that I really want to talk about is the sensor. When you look at the Canon C70 from the front, you're seeing a couple things here. First of all, on my Canon C70, I have the 0.71 focal reducer, also known as a speed booster, that allows more light in, but more importantly, it really essentially changes the Super 35 sensor into a full frame sensor, minus the depth of field. And I won't get too into it, but the fact that they created this accessory for the Canon C70 really takes the C70 to a whole new level. The Canon C70 with the focal reducer is basically a full frame sensor that also captures images utilizing DGO, dual gain output, which creates the ability to capture images that have up to 16 stops of dynamic range. Now, the Canon C70 is natively an RF mount camera, but With the focal reducer, you can now utilize EF glass. And EF glass has been around for decades. It is tried and true. And I want to introduce you to just 3 of my lenses here. And in a future video, I'll talk about these lenses in more detail. But I still use EF mount lenses, and it's because I'm very familiar with them. It's because they have been tested and proven to be a successful, beautiful combination with Canon in the Canon ecosystem. I use the Canon 16-35 2.8, the Canon 100L macro, as well as the Sigma 40 1.4 art lens as my 3 main lenses in my kit. And each of these affords me just a unique perspective on sneakers that I wouldn't be able to get in other lenses. Another feature of the Canon C70 that goes underneath the radar is just the amount of buttons on the whole body. They're everywhere. Each one of them is customizable. And when it comes to being a versatile and simple tool to use, it comes with experience and the ability to assign and customize the buttons in whatever way suits your style of filmmaking. For me, the Canon C70 just really takes this to a whole new level because it just has almost like double or triple the amount of customizable buttons than a traditional mirrorless camera. Like other mirrorless cameras, it has a vari-angle screen, and I think that is a really important feature for sneaker filmmaking because often you're low to the ground, you want to get kind of into these unique angles when it comes to sneaker filmmaking, and so a vari-angle screen is probably a necessity at this point. Another feature that I really like is the fact that it has neutral density filters built into the actual camera body. And what that means is I'm able to control the light in pretty much any way that I want while retaining kind of the critical settings when it comes to ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. One of the most important factors in filmmaking is audio. And what I love about the Canon C70 is that it comes with built-in XLRs, which means I don't need an external recording unit to capture great audio. It can go straight into the camera and it's then automatically synced. And what that means is it creates less steps in the workflow, meaning that I won't have to deal with syncing and all of that. Okay, so the last thing I'll just mention is the fact that I can record in 4K at 120 frames per second in 422 10-bit. And I think that is probably the best feature of this camera. You're able to retain autofocus, you're able to capture beautiful slow motion. Ultimately, camera gear doesn't really matter. You can create compelling content with your phone. You can create it with a point and shoot. Certainly, camera gear doesn't make the determining factor. It's ultimately the content, the story, the fact that you're having fun, the fact that you're being yourself. Those are the most important things. That's all I really want to say about the centerpiece of my kit, the Canon C70. I hope that you like this content. Hit that subscribe button if you vibe with this channel. If you like this video in particular, hit that like button. But more importantly, leave a comment below. I love responding to all of you. You guys have been so kind. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for your support. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace.